Hey, so David and Chris from Megadeth here. We're at the Music Zoo in New York, just did our first clinic for Jackson Guitars. And our friend Doug here has the question of the day, so lay it on us.
The question is, recording the new album, how did you guys go about it? And how is it versus like other albums you guys recorded?
Want me to take this one?
Go ahead, yeah.
Well, it all starts with the record button. No. It actually went so smooth, it was unbelievable, because I think, like you saw us talking earlier, we basically recorded it within 2 months. And what happens typically is, obviously you arrange the songs, get them rough, and then you typically lay down drums to a click. And then from there, you'll either bring in the bass or the rhythm guitars, and you just keep stacking each next instrument on top. So like melody guitars, lead guitars, and then typically vocals will be last.
But for me, I always like to record bass after the rhythm guitars are done. In fact, I was real adamant with Johnny K, the producer, that I said, man, make sure I've got keeper guitars down, because usually you record one and then you double it. So you kind of pan one about 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock if you're looking at it, so it has this real wide stereo imaging that happens. And for me as a bass player, because the rhythm guitar, like usually Dave's guitar and Sean's drums, that outlines the song. And I'm kind of fitting in, I always call it the mortar between the bricks, glues the building together. That's what the bass is in Megadeth, really. And so I like to make sure, first of all, for note choices, that what I'm playing to Dave's finished guitar part. It really helps me finalize my part. And if I know where a vocal is, like you'll hear when the record comes out, there's some songs where the bass was able to really move around, and to know that the vocal melodies, where they were, and what, even on the song Public Enemy #1, to know where the verses and the choruses were allowed me to write some moving bass lines around, and really created some nice counterpoint melodies, kind of on the harmonic foundation of the song. I bet you didn't think you were going to get that answer, did you? Wow. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks, Doug. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming to the clinic.
And Kevin here has a question for us. So what's your first question?
I wanted to ask you how, was there any challenges in learning Marty Friedman and Chris Poland's old solos and stuff?
Right. Well, I mean, like we were talking about, every individual has their own set of challenges, their own set of unique playing stylistic things that they do. And with Marty, for example, I found that his bending and his unique way of bending into notes and his unique scales were really kind of like that challenge that he has. And with Poland, it was much more of that chromaticism that he interweaves into his pentatonic scales and stuff like that. And his bending too, because he's got some insane bending. So I actually went and saw him about a month ago at the Baked Potato in LA. But anyways, that's another story. So yeah, that's the first question, and then you got one for Dave here.
I wanted to ask you, because Dave Mustaine likes to call you Junior. Can you tell me why that is, and do you like being called that?
Well, I'm younger, so we're about 3 years in age different. And when I met Dave in 1983, when we started Megadeth, I just moved to California, and hard to have a band with two guys named Dave, which is why I always went by David, at least he was going by Dave, so right. David. So Junior became sort of my de facto nickname, and I guess probably initially I didn't care to be called that, but over the years it just became my nickname. Now when fans go, Junior, it's like, all right, I guess that's now my nickname. So you know what, it's good to be called.
Right.
So.
I just call him Ellefson.
That works.
That works too.
Yeah.
Good question. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. More of this on Jackson Guitars.